What's going on, everybody? Patrick and John are here for Obscure Reference. We are here with another trailer reaction for Invincible Season 3. Can you believe it, John?
I can believe it.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Uh, yeah, so I only started watching Invincible like 2 weeks ago or something.
Hmm.
Uh, Initial thoughts, season one, pretty great. Like, obviously, I had the feeling Omni Man was mind controlled or has a good reason to kill the Guardians, but it was still a really compelling story of, why is Omni Man evil? What does it mean to be a hero? Yada, yada, yada. Season two, I feel like they had too many plot lines going on, and the story kind of stalled out and felt more like various characters. Where are they nows? So I'm really hoping season three picks the pace back up and kind of starts streamlining the plot again.
All right, cool. No, no, I'll be curious to hear your perspective on this because Invincible Season 1 came out in one go, just weekly. That was great.
Mhm.
Season 2 was split in two different chunks, and I think that really killed the hype and momentum for it. So I think this
Definitely the
is.
season two finale, like it came on a little too strong with Omni Man and me, and then season finale was just kind of like, and the
Mhm.
season's over now.
Yeah, where did Season 2 leave off? I don't recall.
Nowhere memorable. Mark went to a different dimension and killed the brain guy, and then went back to his own dimension.
Oh. Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
he
That's
was
right.
wasted potential for sure. Anyway, let's watch
Anyway,
season
let's
three.
just get
Let's
into it.
watch
Let's get into
season
it.
three.
All right, here we go.
Over the last 90 days, Mark's speed has increased 65%,
Good old Donald.
his endurance 70%, and his strength 138%.
Fuck me! Way to make a fellow superhero feel inadequate. Glad it's not leg day.
You feel like trying out those new muscles of yours?
Okay,
Sir, we
okay,
have
okay.
intense geological events all
Okay,
over the country.
okay. Dude, Donald, low key, my favorite.
Sinclair, he
Dude.
turned people into monsters.
You don't waste people
Oh.
like that. You reform them. You killed Angstrom Levy. Should I lock you up too?
You know that was different.
Mark, we can be the good guys, or we can be the guys that save the world. We can't be both.
Kid Omni-Man is here!
He told me the O was for Oliver.
Cecil, I can never
Art's my
trust
boy.
you with either Mark or Oliver's lives, no matter what.
Ouch.
Oliver, you gotta look out for other people.
You guys are in big trouble!
Oh, you want to call for help? Too bad.
I also love the those guys, the Muller brothers.
And out of luck.
And now
Yeah, they're
I
great.
say something.
With you on our side, we can win this war. I'm not on anyone's side. I disgraced my people. So help me, Mark, and whatever that other kid's name is, stop the Empire.
Oh shit.
What are you hiding in here?
The White Room is for my protection.
Protection from what?
Yo.
From you, Mark.
Oh shit.
Is that all you got? I will never work for you again. We're done.
Yo. All right.
It's time for a change.
In more ways than one.
You look amazing!
I don't know. Feels a little serious.
You know what? I saw a lot of things I'm excited for, and I'm still, oddly enough, not that excited.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's the exact thing I said at the beginning. Season one was all about, is Omni-Man evil and why is he evil?
Mm-hmm.
And then season two just kind of lost that streamlined, every episode gives us more clues and was just like, what's everybody up to? This feels more like, what's everybody up to? Not, the plot is the Viltrumites are coming and we need to prepare Earth's defense or something of the sort. Or they're here and we need to mount a counterattack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think for me that's one of my favorite parts of Invincible is there's like 50 loose threads that do kind of intermingle here and there, but you are doing a lot of like chicken. What are they doing over here? Okay, let's go over
Mhm.
here, and it's a lot of that.
Which can work, but like the fact that season one didn't have it and then season two just brought it out, it feels so disjointed. Like it
Mhm.
really, the characters don't change drastic. Well, they all undergo character development and whatnot,
Yes,
but they're
yeah.
the same characters. but like season 1 just feels like a different show than season 2.
Yeah, no, and I totally get where you're coming with that. I think the earlier issues of Invincible are more streamlined as well, so I think that's something that happens in the comics. We just kind of expand our focus a little bit, a lot of it, honestly.
Yeah, but like aside from eventually the Viltrumites will attack,
Mhm.
what is the plot? You know,
Yeah.
it's like eventually something will happen, and until then, we're just dealing with interpersonal conflict,
Mhm.
which is not what I come to a superhero show for, especially when there is impending threat we could be dealing with, instead of having that dealt with the space characters who have next to nothing to do with the Earth characters.
Yeah, and that's again, I think that's totally fair. I when I go to Invincible though, it is kind of like, well, this is a living and breathing world. It's kind of like what I love about One Piece is that even though we're focusing, on one storyline here, like let's say Mark with the Viltrumites, like
Yeah,
we can also take a look at what Titan's doing over here now that he's taken over the criminal empire. That
but see,
in season
what
one.
One Piece does with that is, let's just take Dressrosa. The entire arc is taken down Doflamingo. After the arc, I don't know why I picked Dressrosa. I have no idea where we Dressrosa. But that's when we check in with, okay, what's Adam Eve up to? What's Alan up to? We get those cover stories where we could start every episode with a cold open of, where is Omni Man now? And then just have like the actual plot progress and just these snippets of this is where everybody else is. But no, like the fact that we're jumping back and forth, like
Sure. Yeah.
I liked so much more the Mark's becoming a superhero, Omni Man is evil. Why?
Yeah.
It felt like it had a single focus and it was a very impactful season. And then season 2 was just like, what if all of the characters were the main character?
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I'll probably push back on that because I think that's part of why I love Invincible, just the comic. I think a lot of the storylines, while it does diverge quite a bit, I think, and we certainly lose focus on Mark as a main character, and I think there's a lot of that I don't love, but I do think a lot of them do come to their own somewhat satisfying conclusions, even if they don't necessarily tie into the main plot. Like, I couldn't tell you, like, we saw a brief glimpse of Titan. Again, I keep bringing that up, but I forget what his deal is. I generally remember what we're doing there, but I don't know how that ties in a larger story. I forget. It's been so long. Same with just multiple different scenes throughout this. It's like, well, I don't remember what larger purpose that serves, but it helps further certain characters' arcs along. And maybe that ultimately ties into the main thread. But I will say, I think we saw it a little bit last season, where they'll do it, where they'll have like what I'll call loose terms like a story arc, where we're building up Angstrom Levy in the background of most of season 2, and then he comes to the forefront. That's
No,
kind of
disagree with that immediately. Sorry, go on. I won't interrupt, but I'm coming back to that.
yeah. So he comes forward, and then we deal with that. And there's other stuff that's bubbling in the background, and eventually that'll come to the forefront. So that's one of my personal favorite things about it, is that there's a lot of stuff that we're building up to, and then it'll become a major focus later on, even though it's only a minor focus here.
So, season 2, episode 1, we start off with the parallel dimension. Don't get me started on how much I hate those, where in most of them Mark becomes evil. Like, theoretically, he's still the same guy we know, so why does he just he's like, oh yeah, the Viltrumite should invade. And his mom joins them too? Like, what does she get out of it besides I might be the highest ranking slave? Anywho, so we start with Angstrom Levy in that universe. And he gets teleported over to the Angstrom Levy's. And then he's like, I'm going to do this thing. And, tragic incident, misunderstanding. Mark does the whole makes him a brain monster guy. And then we just walk away. Like, we don't reference him again until the end of the season. That's not building up the background. That's forgetting we have to resolve this guy's story.
No, he's definitely more built up in the comics. Like, they definitely kind of lead up to it. And I think because the comics flow a little better, and it's like you go from issue to issue, you're not watching an hour-long episode of TV. There is that page turn at the end of a certain issue where it's like, oh shit, he's back. He's not actually dead. He wants revenge.
Like, he was such an interesting concept, and I was really excited. interdimensional pacifist that wants to, create the perfect multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
And, tragic backstory where, oh, he's a villain now, but then we just reintroduce him at the end of the season as, I'm going to kill you, Mark Grayson, and then he dies, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He felt like wasted potential. Great idea, poor execution.
Sure.
But that's neither here nor there at the moment. Key takeaway is I think they have too many plots going on. They should have one plot that everybody's working towards, even if, we want to pop in and check in on all the side characters. It should at least be, what are the Guardians of the Galaxy doing to stop the Viltrumites? What's Mark doing against the Viltrumites? Where's Adam and Eve? Where's Adam Eve and how she's preparing for this?
Yeah.
Like point them all in a single direction, even if we're doing various stories for each of them.
Yeah, and I will say I won't go too much into spoilers. I do think we start heading towards that direction. I don't know if that'll happen this season, but maybe next season we'll start
Good.
trimming down.
I would very much like to see, like, again, everyone can do their own thing, as long as we're all pointing towards the same end goal, where these all eventually collide into super finale.
Yeah, and I won't talk too much about the finale because that's probably like we're well away from that.
Right. I want it to feel less disjointed.
Yeah.
I don't think season 3 is gonna promise me that, but with what you said, I'm hoping maybe it does. Maybe I'm wrong. If not, maybe season 4.
Yeah, at the very least, I think we start trending towards that. If not this season, the next one. Real quick on the actual trailer, shout out. There's some cool storylines we're hinting at. Obviously, the big thing everyone's going to be talking about is Mark going up against Cecil. I think that's a lot of fun. Cecil's such an interesting character, to me at least. And, Walton Goggins, great voice actor. And we have the blue costume. Won't talk too much about that, but I'm excited for that. That's one of my favorite.
I like Cecil. I like Cecil a lot, actually. Him and Donald. Donald season 1 is like my favorite character. Donald season 2, I'm less interested in. I don't know, the fact that we start, like, before I thought he was just a regular guy.
Yeah.
And now we know he's like a robot clone of himself, and I'm just like, I don't know.
See, and that's
manufactured, no pun intended.
That's something I kind of miss, because in the comics that Donald's not even really a featured character until like much later. And that's only because he was featured in like some spin-offs that they were like, oh, actually this is in the Invincible universe, and he keeps getting like blown up in the spin-offs, and he slowly gets replaced with more robot parts, and they just kind of use it as a season 2 big reveal for Donald. So, and that's part of what I love about the comics is that the spin-offs, while they don't seem important, they'll have like characters that are in there like show up. It's like important people in the series later on.
And I can appreciate that for sure, and I definitely don't hate Donald. Again, I just feel like we built up the whole Donald's not dead, Donald's a robot clone of himself, and then it was just, okay, I'm fine with this.
Yeah, I think
it just seems like a lot of trauma to unpack and be fine with.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was, I don't know how from what it sounds like it didn't play as well for you. I don't think it played too well for me either, but as someone who's read a lot of the comics, I was like, oh, cool, they're doing that. I didn't think they would. That's just
but yeah, all in all, I'm excited for season 3. I really hope it defies my expectations, and if not, I'm banking on season 4.
Do you have any predictions you want to throw out there right now, or?
Predictions? No. Quick shout out to my mask theory, though.
I do. Honestly, the way Robert Kirkman writes Invincible, like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's intentional.
So it's like reverse mask theory, real quick tangent, where nobody recognizes Adam Eve until she's like, I'm Adam Eve. Oh my god, you are! But then the first time William sees Invincible up close, he goes, Mark? Even though his mask is fully covered, Omni-Man literally flies in and out of his house all the fucking time. No mask, and no one's like, Mark, why is your dad Omni-Man?
Yeah.
The fucking Viltrumite leader of the alien goes up to Alan, and he's like, rips off his beard, and Alan's like, you're a Viltrumite! All he did was shave.
Very poorly, by the way. He's not getting that full beard off in one go.
Like, it's just not even, what? That's not even a mask. That's a shorter beard.
Like, all you did was prove, like, oh, I'm a dude with a mustache in space. Like, I guess that's enough to show you're a Viltrumite, but I don't know, man.
I don't know. So my wife and I get such a kick out of it about how no one recognizes anyone without a mask, but wearing a mask, immediate facial recognition.
Yeah, I got it. That's got to be intentional. I have to
Like
imagine.
it's the amount it goes on, it's absolutely intentional.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Wouldn't surprise me.
so no predictions. I don't know. I guess Omni Man busts out of prison and formally becomes a good guy. That's I'll say that much.
Okay, 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 okay. I like that. I like that theory. Yeah, I won't make any theories because I know what happens, but I'm very excited to see certain things play out in this season. Mostly Kid Omni Man. We saw a little bit of Battle Beast in here too. Very excited for both of those. But yeah, I've got no predictions. Any closing thoughts on the trailer before we sign off for the day?
No, sir. I do think I'm good to go.
Okay, well, stay tuned. We'll have more trailer reactions, and I'm sure we'll be talking about this moving forward. So subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below. What are you most excited for in this new season? We also do live streams of games on Mondays and Thursdays, though as of recording this, we'll be doing the Game Awards the next week. But beyond that, we mostly do games. So tune in for that on YouTube and Twitch. Links to our socials are in the bio. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We love you. Peace.
Bye bye.